Here we'll talk about how to write a hypothesis pair and determine which hypothesis is the claim and whether the test you would perform to verify the hypothesis is left tail, right tail, or two tail. Now there are certain pieces of information that we need in order to begin writing our hypothesis pair. The first thing we need to answer is this hypothesis about a mean or a proportion? Now, any questions about the mean will usually state the word mean directly, or perhaps we'll talk about the average. The proportions will either be a percentage or may have certain words that represent percentages. You may also see probabilities. So in question 1, we see the word mean stated directly. This tells us that this question is about the mean, and so we would use the symbol mu for mean. By contrast, question 2 uses the word majority. Now, majority means more than half. But half denotes some form of proportion or probability. Now, if we're writing a hypothesis about the mean, we use the letter mu. And then if we have a proportion or probability, we use the letter little p. So, for problem 1, if we intend to write the claim will begin with mu. If we intend to write the claim for problem 2, it will begin with little p. The second question we ask is, what exactly is being claimed about the mean or proportion? In this case, there are certain words that we want to look for. If you see the words at least, or no less than, or you see the words greater or equal, that is represented with a greater than sign with an underline underneath it. So look for these words inside of the claim. Now, in problem 1, it's being claimed that the mean amount of cola is at least 11 ounces. So at least means greater than or equal to 11. You may also see the opposite, such as at most, no greater than, or no more than, or perhaps just less or equal. In this case, we put a less than sign with an underline underneath it. You may also see the word is, or no different from, or the words equal to. In that case, we just use an equal sign. It's possible you may also see different from, or not the same as, or not equal. This is represented with an equal sign with a slash through it. Now, of course, less than won't have too many variations. The strictly less than sign is just the less than sign by itself without the underline. Greater than will simply be the greater than sign. Greater than may also be stated as more than. So in question 2, where we see more than half is going to simply use the greater than sign. And half is the same thing as saying either 50% or 0.5. So we can say that our claim is p greater than 0.5. Now the third question we ask ourselves is the claim null or alternate. We label the null with HO or H0. We label the alternate with H1 or, in some textbooks, HA. You might see either one of these. Now, to tell which is which, the null hypothesis will include equals somewhere in it. So it could be equal, less or equal, or greater or equal. If you see any of these signs, then the claim is null. For the claim to be alternate, we could see not equal, strictly less, or strictly greater. In the first problem, we have greater than or equal to. That's located here, and that tells us that the claim is the null hypothesis, and we label it with HO. In the second problem, we have strictly greater than. Strictly greater than belongs to the alternate hypothesis, and so we write H1 next to this. Traditionally, we'll write the null hypothesis first, so let's make some room for it here at the bottom. We also need to ask ourselves, what's the opposite of the claim? The opposite of the claim will be the other hypothesis. So let's have a look at problem 1. The claim was that mu is greater than or equal to 11. Since we've already used greater, our other hypothesis must involve less. And because we've already used the equals in the null, we cannot use the equals again. Therefore, our other hypothesis, the alternate hypothesis, labeled with H1, is going to be less than, the opposite of greater. However, we use the same symbol mu and the same number, 11. For problem 2, we've already written our alternate hypothesis, and we must have a null. Now, in the alternate, we don't have an equals, so we need to put an equals in our null. But what's the opposite of greater? We must use less. And we will include an equals in the null as well. We'll keep the same symbol, and we'll keep the same number. So now our hypothesis pair is written for both problems. Our final step is to figure out whether it is left, right, or two-tail. To determine which tail, we look to the alternate hypothesis, or H1. Less than is left tail. Greater than is right tail. And not equal to is two-tail. Let us look to our alternate hypotheses. In problem 1, we have a less than sign. Therefore, we can say this is a left tail test. In problem 2, we have a greater than sign. This means that we're doing a right tail test. If either of these had said not equal to, this would have been a two-tailed test.